Hey y'all, it's Lincia on Do What You Love series. On today's episode, we have the Libby Danforth. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, you grew up in Indiana.
Wow.
Yes.
How do you remember that?
I'm a fan. That's I'm a fan. I'm like in awe of
That's
you.
amazing.
Yes. So you grew up in Indiana. You went to school in Indiana. And
Yeah.
then once graduating, you came to Nashville.
Yeah.
So tell me how, your mindset, okay, I'm done with school. Nashville's a new chapter.
I definitely feel like I didn't really plan on being in Nashville.
Really?
I feel like I was just like a little drone and I was just like doing in immediately in the like immediate future what I wanted to do. And I wasn't making any long-term plans at all. I'm in Nashville because my partner's a bass player, and we were trying to decide between like New York, LA, and Nashville. And we're both from Indiana, and
Mhm.
Nashville felt like, in terms of the day-to-day lifestyle, most like similar to that and like comfortable. So we came to Nashville, but we didn't really know what it was going to be like. I didn't even know Nashville was in the South.
Ooh, okay.
I thought Nashville was the Midwest.
Welcome. Welcome.
That was like
Welcome
very
to the
different
South.
than what I thought.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, but yeah, I really that didn't happen necessarily on purpose,
Okay.
but I didn't really know that I was going to walk into such an awesome entertainment culture here.
Yeah, yes.
I didn't know what photography was going to look like for me,
Mhm.
but um I discovered that it has an amazing photo scene
Yes.
and it's all kind of like tied in with the music scene. And
Mhm.
I feel like, especially since COVID, so much more production has been coming here.
Right, right.
So there's a lot you can do as a photographer here, and that's been an awesome surprise. And that's kind of what's kept me here, is like the community.
Yes. So, how did you find the Libby way? People want to do this, people do that, or this artist is doing this way. How did you find the Libby way?
This is something I've thought about a lot in terms of like looking at other artists and wishing that you did the same thing as them, or like looking at their success and being like, oh, like how I want to be like that. How do I get that? And I'll see like a lot of like, especially like indie artists who I talk to, kind of echoing that kind of sentiment.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's a really hard trap to be in,
Mhm.
where, because ultimately, like the reason that you're making your work is because you've had your own like very specific, unique history and like set of experiences. So like inherently, whatever you're doing is just going to be like different and you're gonna like find your own path to success.
Right.
For me, I think I've always really liked color. I never thought I was gonna be a photographer. I did a lot of like oil painting and oil
Ooh,
pastel and like
okay.
sculpture, but I also knew I wanted to like make money and have a life.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, I don't know how I could oil paint. I mean, I know some people do it, but I was like, I couldn't imagine how I could like make that
Right,
like
right. The
a
full time,
living.
yeah.
Um, and all my oil paintings are super colorful. I took photography classes in college and like I would do some stuff in black and white and
Yeah.
like really neutral stuff. And then I had like one assignment where I had to emulate a photographer
Mhm.
and I picked Martin Parr. I don't
Okay.
know if you know Martin Parr. He's this like crazy British dude who like did all these insane, like really hilarious kind of social commentary photos in Britain.
Mhm.
And they're all like really bright colors. Like he did a series of people on the beach where it's like direct flash with
Yeah.
like, some like crazy oiled up dude and like a tiny little Speedo.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to emulate his work.
Mhm.
And that was the first time where I was really like, okay, like I'm doing something I really like right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, good. Yes.
I feel like that was like the foundation.
And I see it in all your photos. They're beautiful. It's Libby, that's what I get from
Thanks.
it. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. Was there ever a moment you wanted to quit?
Honestly, no.
Ooh, okay.
Like I remember times where I was like really miserable. I have a period of time that I call the dark times
Yeah,
where I was like
yeah.
really not doing well.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I know it never occurred to me to quit, really. I feel like I've always just been this little like automaton, just like kind of like moving forward.
Yes, yes.
And I've definitely had like so many nights where I'm lying in bed at 4 a.m. and I can't sleep, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this. What do I
Right.
do? But the question is never, I want to quit, or it's never like, I want to quit. It's always, what do I do?
What do I do?
It's always feels like a kind of forward movement.
So with that like mindset, like what do I do? How do you deal with it?
I mean, I've started going to therapy, which is really nice.
Talking it out, yeah.
I mean, really, I think sometimes you just have, for me, I've just had to kind of like grind it out and like keep going. There's no like easy answer. I think I had to kind of do a reassessment in my personal life and figure out like outside of photo stuff, what do I really need to be able to actually make this happen? I think at the time this was happening, I had a really like really bad side job. Like I would cry on the way to work every day. I had eczema all down my hands and
No,
wrists.
you're
Like it
stressed.
was horrible. I was so stressed out. And I remember sitting at my job and being like, okay, this isn't working.
Right.
Like this is not allowing me to actually like do what I need to do what I really want to do, which is be a full-time photographer. So I had to do a kind of like abstract assessment of like, okay, what do I need out of a job? At the time, my side job was in photography. So I thought that that would be really fulfilling and like cool, but it turns out if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like it was a bad side job.
Right.
So I was like, what makes me feel good? What makes me happy? I was like getting outside, doing something different every day. Like I need to see sunlight. I need to like get freckles and like
Yes.
move my body, be doing something different every day.
Right.
And I was like, what jobs exist where I will be doing that instead of just like sitting at a desk all day?
Right.
And I was like, I literally thought about becoming a construction worker.
Whoa.
Like I was like, what if I like was a construction worker? And then I was like, what if I were a dog walker?
Okay.
And I became a dog walker.
Love that.
And it was literally the best side job ever. I like my mental health just went way up and then I went full time.
I love it. I love that you said it as the dark period or dark time in your life, the dark times. Because I feel like everybody has those times, right? And I feel like we get so lost in that like, time period.
Yeah.
And to continue is the biggest thing, to push forward. Do you think those like the dark time, is it necessary? I think to like look within and try to figure out what is necessarily next for you.
I don't know. It's hard because I look back at that and I just like it's all kind of just cloudy and like
Right. It's a blur.
I definitely think I had to come to some kind of like breaking point that like caused me to reassess.
Right.
Like a moment where I was like, okay, this isn't working. What do I do? So I guess yeah, like I had to kind of like be honest with myself and be like, okay, what do I need here?
Yes.
Even if it's not related to photography, like what do I need to be able to do this?
Right, right. What's the next move? Okay, so what advice would you give other people that want to be photographers or just in the industry, basically?
I would say make a lot of bad work, like do, and I would say be selfish with the work that you're making. I think it's really easy to get stuck in this place of trying to make everything really meaningful, which I think often can result in kind of like trite work. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's really cool, and everybody has their own way of doing stuff. But at least for me, um, just working more instinctively, building things, building aesthetics that feel really honest and exciting and just really like indulgent for me personally. My point of view will always come through.
Right.
I like did this series, or I started this series in probably like 2017, 2018, where I was just taking like a nude photo of someone like on a blank floor with like a blank wall. And I was just doing it because I wanted to make something beautiful. But then through that, I was realizing I do actually have something that I'm saying through this. And like I've got this like intrinsic viewpoint and like relationship with the world that's like coming out anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, concept comes later. I've found that for me, that works best in terms of like making work, but it's just so important to like make lots of work to make bad work, to just do it bravely and like keep going, and then eventually you'll be a lot better at making work.
Yeah, you perfect your craft.
Yeah.
This is my last and final question.
Wow.
Do you love what you do?
Yeah, I love it. I never really saw myself being a photographer until it just kind of happened organically. I don't think I really understood how cool of a life it is. Like, it is about doing the job, it's about doing something different every day. I get to have so many unique, crazy, weird experiences. Like, the other week, I had to figure out how to hire a bunch of baby bunnies and a peacock. I've just ended up in all these like crazy scenarios that like only photography could have taken me to. I also get to hire my friends. My friends are so good at what they do. I like I'm just so lucky that I get to be in charge of who I'm bringing into the mix and like how I structure that. It's on my terms, which I love.
You're a boss, yes.
Um, but beyond that, I really value my personal life. I feel like in order to be good at my job, I have to be like happy outside of work. I mean, which of course we're not always all happy all the time, but generally I want to be fulfilled. And for me, in order to feel that way, I need to feel like I have freedom. And I need to be able to sit at home with my cats sometimes and like make a good meal or like go swimming or work in my garden. And I'm like busy, but I can still kind of like structure my day to include those things, which just I don't know if I could work any other way. It's a cool life.
Yes. Well, it's amazing. Thank you so much for being here and
Thanks for
talking to
having me.
me. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Okay, thanks, y'all. Bye.